The 2025 NBA draft is absolutely loaded with talent such as Dylan Harper, Cooper Flagg, who's been the projected number one pick for forever, but now there's a legit conversation about who's going number one. There's also a lot of depth in this class. The top 10 are remarkable. So today we're going to be bringing you mock draft 1.0 for 2025, and we're only doing the top 10 picks in this year's draft. With the first pick here, and this might be a crazy take, right? But for the Wizards, I'm going to have them going with Dylan Harper. Everybody's been saying Cooper Flagg is the number one pick, this, that, and the other. I think it's Dylan Harper. Right now, you look at the stats, Cooper Flagg, for one, he can't shoot the three ball early on. And two, Dylan Harper has just been that good early on at Rutgers. He looks like an NBA player right now. 6'6", great frame, about 215. He is built like an NBA player, like a lead guard for an NBA team. He's averaging 24, 4.5, and 5 boards on 52% shooting from the field. Everything about him screams number one pick right now, and I don't think it's even that crazy to say anymore that Dylan Harper, right now, if the season ended today, would be the number one pick, just because, one, he's been better than Cooper Flagg, and two, Coop has shown he can't shoot the three ball so far. And then thirdly, you look at this Wizards roster, you bring in Dylan Harper. They haven't had a true lead guard since the John Wall days. I mean, you can say Russell Westbrook, I guess, but they got Jordan Poole. They got other wings here like Koulibaly, who's having a nice year, Corey Kispert, Kyle Kuzma, and then Sarr down low to go with Valanciunas. I'm assuming they're going to keep him around a little bit longer. But what they need is a true lead point guard, and that's going to be Dylan Harper, who has looked like a stud so far all year long. Now at 2, you got the Pelicans. And this is where, if you're New Orleans, you don't overthink it. You go with the number 2 player on the board, the guy that could be the number 1 overall pick in Cooper Flagg. Probably, well, I don't know. Right now, it's kind of 50-50 because Cooper Flagg just does everything so well. And then Dylan Harper is just a scorer, just pure scorer. He does a little bit of everything as well, but Cooper Flagg, he's a great rim protector, great defender, great scorer, especially when he gets around the rim. That mid-range game is lethal because he's 6'9", 6'10", and can jump. Great athleticism. So I think this is where, if you're the Pelicans, it doesn't necessarily fit the roster, but you're being blessed here with a top pick just due to injuries. The roster has been destroyed by injuries so far this year. You go ahead, you take Cooper Flagg. We'll see what happens with Zion. I mean, he can't stay healthy. You throw Cooper Flagg in there at the 4, and then you surround him with shooters like Trey Murphy, Herb Jones. We'll see what they do with Ingram. Jordan Hawkins is a sniper. They got DeJounte Murray. We'll see what happens, but I think this is a pick where, if you're the Pelicans, you don't overthink it. You take Flagg, who everybody thought was going to be the number 1 overall pick, a generational prospect. Dylan Harper outplays him as a freshman, and he falls into your lap at number 2. Then here at 3, we have the Utah Jazz, and this is kind of an interesting pick, but not really, because this class is so much more stacked than it was last year. I mean, we're talking about Ace Bailey going 3rd overall, and you know, they say there's the next KD every year. Ace Bailey looks a lot like Kevin Durant did when he was a freshman at Texas. If you're the Jazz, you had the Taylor Hendricks experiment. He got hurt. He was looking better. You also have 2 more first-round picks, which is great, from Minnesota and from Cleveland. And right here, you know, you have Markkanen. That's your building block. Collins is probably on the way out before long. You got Keontae George, who has looked solid at times. I'm still a believer in Cody Williams. And then, of course, Taylor Hendricks hopefully can come back better than he once was. But I think this is where you don't overthink it. You take Ace Bailey, you pair him up with Lauri Markkanen, maybe play him at the 3. We'll see what happens. And in the long run, if you're Danny Ainge, you just keep adding young, talented assets that have absolutely insane potential. And that is essentially Ace Bailey, who's averaging 18 and 7 on 47% shooting right now as a 6'10 wing. He's not even playing in the post, really. Then at 4, we have the Toronto Raptors. This is an interesting one, but not really, right? Nolan Traore, if you haven't watched him yet, he is a stud over in France. There were whispers about him being a lottery pick last year. He decides to go back to France for another year, and I think he's going to be a top 5 pick. And I think right here, this fit with the Raptors would be great, right? They've had point guard by committee, kind of, with Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett, both running a little bit of it. Grady Dick has been a phenomenal piece for them this year. Ochai Agbaji's been great as well. There will be a full in-depth Raptors video coming on the channel here in a couple days if you are a Raptors fan. Turn those post notifications on, hit that subscribe button. But anyways, with the Raptors pick here, I think they go Nolan Traore. He's a legit point guard, 6'4", 185. Can pass, can shoot, can score. He put 50 on a team not too long ago, back in May, I believe. And I think he's a total package as a point guard. Shoot, can get to the rim, can facilitate. I think he would fit perfect alongside of RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, Grady Dick, and everybody they got in Toronto. Not to mention Emmanuel Quickley would be great coming off the bench, in my opinion. Now at 5, we have the Charlotte Hornets. And this is an interesting one, right? All of them are interesting, but this is my squad. This is my favorite team. Unfortunately, it sucks that I have to cheer for this team, but we got LaMelo, who has emerged as a superstar, averaging over 30 a game. The pieces are there with Brandon, with Miles Bridges. Grant Williams, unfortunately, out for the year, but we got Mark Williams. Moussa Diabate is emerging. Nick Richards is one of the best backup centers in the league. Trey Mann has proved to be a great sixth man. Josh Green's a good rotation piece. Same thing with Cody Martin. We just need shooting. If you look at this roster, that's all we need is shooting. I expect us to sign someone, maybe like a stretch big, but Grant Williams will be back next year. He's playing really good. He's a great defender as well. So we just need shooting. Maybe this is a crazy pick. We're going with the hometown kid, Isaiah Evans. He's from Charlotte, from North Mech. I think this would be a crazy fit. He only averages 9 points a game, but he's a 5-star for a reason. Needs to put on some weight and become a better defender. But he can absolutely shoot the 3-ball. If you've watched Duke at all this year, this kid can fill it up. Needs to work on the other parts of his scoring, but we saw in high school, right? And I don't want to compare high school to the NBA, right? But he can score from all 3 levels. He's shown glimpses of potential, like put 18 on Auburn in the first half. Auburn's one of the best defensive teams in the country, and I think he has superstar written all over him. Maybe I'm crazy, but I would not hate Isaiah Evans coming home to Charlotte at all. Now at 6, we have the Portland Trail Blazers, and this one is one where I think you don't overthink it. You go VJ Edgecombe. He's the best wing left. He's the best player on the board right here, in my opinion. He's got a lot of potential. Great athleticism, obviously good length. We'll need to work on the jumper, but I think he can develop alongside Shannon Sharp, and if you get him and Shannon Sharp in the same backcourt together in the future, that's the most athleticism I have ever seen in one backcourt. Delano Banton, I don't think it's time to give up on Scoot yet, so I don't think you take one of these point guards in Igor Dimon or Kasparis Yakajonas, but I think it is VJ Edgecombe as the pick here for Portland. Now at 7, we have the Thunder, and this is a team that really needs shooting, and this is where I think Con Knipple goes. Knipple has been a little bit underwhelming since his hot start to the year, but man, think about the open looks that he will get alongside of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who attracts all that attention. Same thing goes for Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren. Just working off of these guys, getting buckets, I think Con Knipple will be a stud. Not Dalton Knecht level, but I think he will be really, really good. He's great off the catch and shoot, one of the best in the country off the catch and shoot. And then we get to Brooklyn, who desperately needs a point guard now with Dennis Schroeder being gone. They only got 3 seconds for him, which is kind of a bad haul, but they have 4 first-round picks in the upcoming draft. Unfortunately, 3 of them are going to be pretty late. Their own is top 5, though, so they will use this. I think they're going to go Yakachonis here. I think he's a little bit better than Igor Dimon right now. I think he can do just everything a little bit better. And he's 6'6". Dimon is 6'9", so that's definitely an interesting height differential here, but Yakachonis averaging 16, 5.5, and 6 on 47% shooting from the field, leading that Illinois team. Give me Kasparis Yakachonis. I hope I said that name right. I tried to say it the same as the announcers do in the games, but if I said it wrong, let me know down in the comment section below. Now we got Detroit, and Detroit is another team that just needs shooting. Luckily for them, this guy named Liam McNeely is on the board. 6'7", 13.6 points per game, 6 boards. And the thing about McNeely, he's just a shooter from everywhere. And then he can get inside. He's got that 6'7" frame, so he's got an NBA frame. can really shoot it. I think him going to Detroit with Cade, right, with Azar Thompson, who is a great slasher. They just have slashers right here with Ron Holland. And then Harris is a good shooter off of him. Same thing with Fontecchio. Same thing with Tim Hardaway Jr., not the most efficient guy in the world, but Malik Beasley's a good shooter. I believe he's on a one-year deal, though. So they'll need more shooting, more long-term shooting down the stretch to go with Cade and company. Give me Liam McNeely at 9 here to the Pistons. And then with the final pick, we're only doing a top 10 here today. We got the Chicago Bulls, and they're going best player available. And without a doubt, the best player on the board right here is Igor Dimon. If he falls to 10 to Chicago, that'd be a great pick for them. Yes, they have Josh Giddey. Yes, they have Ayo Dosunmu. Yes, they have Lonzo Ball. Yes, they have Kobe White. But I think Dimon is so much better than anybody else on the board right here. And yes, the board is not complete, right? We're a month into the college basketball season, so obviously a lot more things will take place and shift as we go. But right now, I think we're going Igor Dimon here to the Bulls at 10, and that will wrap up 13, 6, 5 on 49% shooting from the field for the 6'9" freshman point guard. And that's the top 10 mock draft here 1.0. Y'all let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I think the craziest pick is probably Isaiah Evans to Charlotte, but as a Charlotte Hornets fan, I would not hate that at all. I think he can grow in and become the next Brandon Miller, right? If he was somewhere else other than Duke, where all the attention's on Flagg and Knipple and Tyrese Proctor, he's like the 6th option there as a 5-star. If he would have went somewhere else, maybe he could have been, even better. Maybe he would be in number 1 pick talks. But with that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy, make sure to like button, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button. And with that being said, thanks so much for watching today's video.